Well, sustainability is obviously one of our core values. But I think the real reason that Dunfermline is so committed to it is because of the employees. The employees, it's embedded into their philosophy and has been for quite a long time. So as you walk through this plant, you'll see our wind turbine, you'll see many other great initiatives. All of those initiatives have been driven by the employees' ideas, and then they've been basically supported by the business. And so sustainability is basically a core value to the business, but more importantly, it's a core value to all the employees on this site.
We've heard from Michelle about an employee-led engagement around sustainability, and this wind turbine is a great example of FMC's commitment both to its employees and to the sustainability of its business.
The Green Shoots Fund is an industry-leading charity that's been set up by FMC Technologies here in Dunfermline and is co-funded by the company and our customer base. The reason for this charity is to support our local community in carbon offsetting and carbon saving programs through the use of energy saving devices. The primary purpose, so far as the company is concerned, is then to basically use this as a form of carbon offsetting, so far as our primary production work here in Dunfermline, which is around Christmas tree production. The projects that Green Shoot's been working on recently, back in 2010 we supported the North Howe Housing Trust with energy saving devices, insulation, etc. being put into that households of the community there. Overall savings have achieved something of 43 tonnes per year, and we expect this to have a reduction of around 15,000 tonnes over the lifetime of the project. Right now, in 2013, we're supporting Green Kirkcaldy with a similar project so far as energy conservation in the area. And for the future, we're looking at supporting a micro hydroelectric scheme in the Cairngorms National Park. We are basically leading the industry in what we're doing here. When this charity was launched a few years ago, we had international journalists, for instance the Washington Post, coming and speaking to us about the fact of what we were doing. It has raised a huge amount of interest across our customer base, and we believe that as we go forward, this form of corporate social responsibility will become a benchmark so far as the industry is concerned in the future.
Okay, I think in 2007 we set up some really ambitious targets for environmental improvement, and key to these were reduction of our carbon emissions and looking to source power from renewable sources. And we looked at the options that were available. We spoke with the Green Team members, and the larger the project, the bigger the gains. So it was very, very ambitious at the time. It was a really interesting meeting with our directors when we pitched it initially. But we got the go-ahead, we did the investigation, and what you see behind us now is the fruits of that. The great news for FMC is that it didn't actually cost us any money for the scale of the capital expenditure that was required to implement the turbine. We entered a deal with the company who installed the turbines. We agreed that we would lease them the piece of land. They then followed through with all the requirements for planning approvals. They did the purchase of the turbine, the installation and the maintenance. FMC's commitment is to buy the energy which is generated from it. There were some challenges along the way. We expected some issues with the planning application which didn't actually manifest themselves, but during the course of the project the financial markets crashed, which meant the funding that was generated for the turbine was lost at certain points, and also the turbine manufacturers decided not to sell in single units, they were only servicing wind farms. So to get a single unit and to get it financed took a bit longer than we expected. There are quite a number of benefits that we've acquired from it. First and foremost, I think it's a very visual indicator of our commitment to the environment in the area. The energy that's generated from it comes at a cheaper rate for us, and that rate is fixed over the next 25 years. But just importantly, in the longer term, it means we have continuity of supply of energy. We know where a third of our energy will come from for the facility.
Waste is such a significant issue for FMC, mainly because of the vast volumes that we manage to produce here of all different types. There's wood waste, there's packaging waste, scrap metal, paper, cardboard, all different sorts. and we look to work with our waste contractor to find different ways of reducing this and different ways of getting rid of it as well. For example, we currently bale our cardboard on site, and that is sent away and we get £40 a tonne for the cardboard. We also collect our bottles and cans, for example, around the offices and on the shop floor, and then they go away and we get money back for those as well. And our scrap metal is sent away to a merchant who's then able to give us a cheque effectively every month for what's been recycled. Our wood leaves site. If we can't actually recycle that into our crates and pallets here, it goes away and it goes to a biomass plant where it's made into energy. I would say our biggest challenge in terms of waste is managing to find ways of continually reducing it. We set ourselves very challenging targets of wanting to send 0 to landfill, which is itself very challenging. We're doing very well, but it's managing to do the continual improvement side of things. And one of those that we're looking at the moment is different ways of dealing with our food packaging waste and the food waste itself. All of the food packaging items that we use in the restaurant here are all compostable. Everything from your sandwich wrappers to your clamshell boxes to all the cutlery, for example, it can all be composted down, and we're currently working with our waste contractor to look at where that can go and how it can be composted as soon as possible. And we educate our staff about how they should dispose of everything in the office and out on the shop floor, and it's so far things are doing well. We look forward to others following us effectively, because we feel we're setting a very good example by what we're doing in reducing our waste, looking at better ways of recycling and reusing where at all possible.
The growing business, we're continuously looking at ways in which we can reduce the overall water consumption of the site, look at ways in improve the efficiency of using water, and also look at ways in which we can reduce the volume of wastewater that we're generating at the site as well. Together with that, it's looking at equipment and technologies that we can integrate into our processes that will help us reduce our overall water consumption for the facility. Yeah, so our biggest challenge in terms of water is looking at ways in which we can identify in our processing activities where we can save water. And through measuring and managing our water, it's effectively looking at how we can reduce our water consumption, reduce our impact on the environment, and also addressing water scarcity issues. Together with that, it's a financial opportunity. So by reducing our water consumption and our discharge of wastewater, we can identify ways in which we can save money as well. FMC has dealt with its water issues in a number of different ways. So we've implemented a target to reduce our water consumption by 24%. We achieved that target through a number of measures. So we looked at upgrading all the welfare facilities on site. So included implementation of water saving technologies. And we've also identified on site through our processes where we're using the most water. So, for example, we have 2 large pressure test pits on site, and each of them hold down about 180 cubic metres of water. So we've implemented a filtration system there, which filters the water, removes contaminants, and keeps the water clear for the pressure testing happening there, and allows us to save a lot of water. Overall, that saved us around about 30% of our overall water consumption and around about £20,000 a year. It's also part of a bigger environmental strategy for us, so it's a good way of engaging with our employees as well on environmental issues, getting them involved in these issues and helping them to reduce the impact of the company.
As FMC's independent sustainability advisor, I've seen some great examples of global best practice at FMC sites around the world. But if FMC is really going to kick on and be a truly sustainable business, we need to arrive at a level of consistency that we haven't seen before. That's what this policy is all about. It's what this e-learning package is all about. So everybody can understand what role they have to play to make FMC a truly great, sustainable business.